wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talk, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is our take on. This is our take on. Yeah, they need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on sports.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Just like normal, he is your host, Mr. MP80Baby.
And there right there is your host, Mr. GPG.
Welcome to
our Take on Sports.
On this podcast, man, we keep it real, give you the hottest information, keep you updated on everything that's going on in the sports world. We never waste no time on this show, and we sure ain't gonna start doing it right now. We're gonna dive right into it, man.
We're gonna get on to what, the NFL?
Let's do it.
All right. So I'll let you take off what teams you want to talk about first.
Let's get into what's going on, the Atlanta and the Seahawks game, man. You know, talk to me, man. We're going to start with your boys, man. The Atlanta Falcons, went down 34-14 to the Seahawks this past Sunday, man. Talk to me about that game, man. It's all you.
I mean, you got one thing you did say in one of our segments. You said, when you got good Kirk, you know about him. He was in your division for a minute. You got good Kirk, man. You got Kirk be on. When you got bad Kirk, you got bad Kirk. And I'm not necessarily saying this was bad Kirk this week. It just shows when Kirk is not at his best and the defense is not playing, which we've been talking about. The defense they just haven't been playing like they were the first 2 to 3 games. We haven't seen that defense again. Being able to close in on wide receivers, not giving no room, making the quarterback be hesitant about staying back there, being able to pack the ball 2 to 3 times, things of that sort. So you have Geno Smith going for 2 TD passes against our defense that's supposed to be dominant, and everything, for them to go in and get a 34-14 win over us. The Falcons, they did beat themselves in a lot of phases, especially the first 2 quarters, missing field goals, just not completing the dang on 3 downs, 3rd down, not being able to stay on the field, move the chains. A lot of that happened. Very disappointing. But again, I know that Kirk is not going to be that Kirk every week. You can't, that's just a lot on anybody, just neither to say. So Kirk did throw 35 passes. He completed 24 of them, 232 yards. He did throw for a touchdown, but he threw 2 interceptions, which did all of them hurt it. All 2 of them hurt it. I'm not even gonna lie. We moving the ball, getting it down, getting close into the red zone, doing interception. Things like that just cannot happen. Geno Smith didn't have to throw too much. He threw for 28. He threw for 28 times and completed 18 of them for 2 touchdowns. Walker the third, he didn't have a big game, but he did score on us. But Metcalf, he did what he supposed to do. He had a tremendous catch.
Yes.
In the game that really I felt like rejuvenated their team. We was kind of starting to take the momentum, and that 3rd down play just it seemed like it gave them an extra spark, and then from there we just couldn't get no footing again. So that's just kind of my take on the game. Again, we gotta get something going on defense. And our offense just didn't play well enough. I know we could have put up maybe 6 more points through field goals, but only being able to score 2 touchdowns, and our first touchdown didn't come into the second quarter. That's a problem. I feel like our offense is potent enough to score on the first possession every game, every game. And we have showed flashes of that. So, hey, it's a bad loss this week. They need to get back on track. And I believe they can, because it's nothing, you going to Tampa Bay playing a Tampa Bay team that's hurt all the way around the board. This is a time to get back on track, not taking nothing from Baker Mayfield, because he still is a decent quarterback that know how to dissect defense if they don't know how to touch him. So again, that's my take on that game. What you see?
Bad Kirk. That's what I saw. I saw bad Kirk. I saw Kirk missing some throws. Yeah. I saw Kirk, getting that fumble, And when the defense ain't playing up to par, you need your quarterback to be able to do certain things, especially you making that kind of bread. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a lot of money, man, and you can't throw for 500 yards in one game, man, and then come out there and look like that. I ain't saying you got to win every game, but come on, Kirk. But that's Kirk. You get good Kirk some weeks, you get bad Kirk some weeks. Mm-hmm. Just depends. I mean, one thing, he's way better than what you have last year. You know what I'm saying? Them cats that you had in camp last year. So that was just pretty much, I saw it, you know what I mean? I just was like, damn, here's bad Kirk. So I saw the game, goddamn. I done seen that shit before, but yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I saw. So. But yeah, we'll go, man. Get on to my game, man. That Green Bay and Houston game, man. That Green Bay and Houston game. Green Bay won the game 24-22. Came down to a last-second field goal. And the new addition, Brandon McManus, drained it. I said for a long time that all Green Bay needed was a good field goal kicker. We can go places. And don't get me wrong, we didn't play a perfect offensive game. You know what I mean? We threw 2 interceptions, had a special teams blunder where the ball hit my man's leg, and they recovered it. But the thing is we didn't give up many points out of them turnovers. Kept us in the game. We held C.J. Stroud down. We got him, he completed 10 of 19 for 87 yards passing. Yeah. No interceptions. Hey, when you hold the Houston Texans down, we sacked him 4 times. We was all over it. When you hold that Houston Texans offense down, and I ain't trying to hear that they was missing Nico Collins. Everybody have injuries. Did nobody feel sorry for us when Jordan Love was out? They were still trying. Luckily, we had Malik Willis, to step in and play well, and we was able to win those games. But ain't nobody feeling sorry when Christian Watson went out. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for injuries, man. Injuries are part of the game. So my boys took care of business, man. I think we got a good solid kicker now. If we can cut down on the interceptions, Jordan got to stop throwing interceptions. He throw 2 interceptions at least damn near a game. Now, they counter it with 2, 3, 4 touchdown passes. But dang, if you stop throwing the 2 interceptions, stop making the silly mistakes, we should have blew Houston out, bro. Same thing Minnesota did. We should have did that to him if he don't make them silly turnovers, especially you throw an interception 2 minutes into the game. Mm-hmm. So, luckily, we got the victory. We moving on to Jacksonville. We on to Jacksonville now. What you see in the game?
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, is on point. You guys did hold CJ down. He only passed for 86 yards, which is it has to be a all-time low for him.
It is.
And so for you to even do that, even without Collins in the game, that speaks volumes, because you still got Mixon, you still got Diggs and everybody else that's on the team that can, you know, catch the ball downfield, that's downfield threats. So yeah, for you to be able to do that, defense won that game for you.
Yes,
Even though your kicker did kick a 45-yard field goal to seal the game for you guys, you know, but most definitely your defense showed up at a pivotal time for you guys because Jordan Love didn't play his best game.
Right. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. So, but we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna move on, man. So I gotta get your take on these games here, man. I gotta get your take right here, right now. Minnesota and Detroit. Tell me what you think about that game you saw.
That was a good game.
Yes, sir.
That was a good game. But I believe we all kind of felt like it was going to be a good game. It was scoring. I believe I felt like it could have been a little bit more, more defense. But we know that the Lions, one thing the Lions are going to do is score. And so Sam Darnold and them had to try to keep up with them and whatnot. And it came down to the wire all the way to the fourth quarter. So, Sam Darnold completed he completed 22 of his 27 passes for 259 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And Goff, he threw 2 touchdowns. Gibbs, he ran for 2 touchdowns, 119 yards. So, I mean, Detroit did just enough to go to be 5-1 this season, giving Minnesota their first loss. It was a good game. I mean, it was a divisional game. So it was something that I felt it was right up there.
I'm surprised that both teams scored as many points as they did. The score was 31-29, man. That was kind of a high-scoring game, in my opinion. I thought both defenses were going to do a little bit better, being that they play each other twice a year, and they was going to shut each other down. I didn't think they was going to let each other get out like they did. But when you got Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, and Jordan Addison on one side, and then you got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, my goodness. This dude here, man. You see that move he put on that dude? That little up down the sideline. Damn. That's a tough team, man. We see him in a couple of weeks, man. Detroit, tough team, man. Tough team. Minnesota, we already took that L to them, but we owe them. We're going to get them boys back, too. Believe that. We coming. Yeah, man. Got to give it up for Detroit, man. Shout out to them. They in first place now, but soon we know who the big boys in that division is. We always know who the big brothers are. They all had it last year. The Packer boys, man, we always been the big brothers in that division. We come to get it, too. We're going to move on, man. Baltimore beat the Bucs 41-31. And it wasn't that close. Now, it was a 10-point game, but that game was over early. It was early. It was over early. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead, but Baltimore came back stomping. You know what I'm saying? Crazy how they came back stomping, man. And then when what happened to them, man, and I'm gonna let you elaborate in, it just made it worse. Tell them what happened, MP. I don't even want to do it to him.
I mean, you don't want to talk about how Lamar threw for all them touchdowns?
Nah, hey, you know what? You know what? This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say this. Check this out. They lost Mike Evans early.
They did.
Hamstring injury. Now, I tore my hamstring once, and that's an injury, boy, that you cannot just mess around with. He shouldn't even been playing. Let's keep it 100. He shouldn't even been playing. And then what happened to Chris Godwin with less than a minute left in the game, when the game was already out of reach, when he probably shouldn't even been in the game, and now you probably just cost yourself your season. And then, I don't know, you're going to Atlanta next week. Don't look good for you, man. Don't look good for you. Tell them about what Baltimore did, man.
I mean, yeah, they got bruised. Derrick Henry, he carried the ball 15 times for 169 yards. So he bruised them, he beat them up right on time for the Falcons to see him again. Lamar Jackson, threw for 5 touchdowns. He ate them up. 281 yards in the air. Yeah, I mean, he did them bad. I mean, and it all came after that 10-0 lead, like that you talk about that the Bucks had in the first quarter. And it was like the Ravens just came storming down. They put 17 points up in the second quarter, 17 points up in the third quarter, and knocked them out with another 7 points in the fourth quarter to go on and put them down. Tampa Bay did try to run them. What'd you say?
That brother hit everybody for a touchdown, man.
He hit everybody.
That brother hit people, pull him out the stands.
He hit everybody.
He hit touchdown passes to him, man.
He hit everybody. And I was happy to see that because that's what we kind of talked about in one of our last segments. We kind of spoke on that about Lamar having these weapons and need to be able to hit more people than just Mark Andrews. I'm glad to see him getting on the board and people outside of him starting to catch the ball to open up more lanes for him because he's a big boy. If you give him space, man, you know, he can be the baddest tight end in the game. So, like I said, like we was talking on the last segment, you know, Lamar Jackson, he can be a elite quarterback if he spread the ball. So I'm glad, like we talking about, he was able to get the ball to multiple people.
Right. You know, like I said, man, I'll give it up for what the Ravens are doing right now. King Henry is running like a beast. He didn't have too many yards until he broke off down the sideline, you know what I mean? And then he just ended up having 100 and whatever yards you said, you know, for the game. But for the most part, they was doing a pretty good job on him. You know, they held him down a little bit. But then Justice Hill got out, you know, and then all the other people got out, you know. Zay took that little injury. I'm glad he's not hurt too bad. But 2 touchdowns to Mark Andrews, you know, another touchdown to Bateman, you know, touchdowns to Henry, you know. Them boys they're a well-oiled machine right now, and they're rolling pretty good, man. But we'll get on, man. We got some other games, man. We ain't gonna waste too much time getting into them. Steelers beat the Jets 30-15, ruining that opening night with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, that combination. We talked about that on one of our previous shows. If y'all following our show, we said it before. It's gonna need more than Devontae Adams to help Aaron Rodgers and that Jets team. They're going to need a lot more than that. At least that's what it looked like against Russell Wilson. And them. Talk to me, man. What you think about that one?
Aaron Rodgers looked flat. He just looked so flat. Yeah, and I didn't like the fact that he started off just targeting Adams. You know, when you got already a star that been carrying that wide receiver crew, you should allow Devontae to be more of a diversion. You know, so yeah, I'm with you. And it was just shocking. I just thought, I felt like this was the time to make Tomlin feel like an ass for putting Justin Fields to the bench and bringing in Russell Wilson against you. You know, he tried a quarterback change against you, you know, going into the second part of the season, and y'all came out there like that.
He felt like I could win this game with a Russell Wilson that ain't even played. That's how Mike Tomlin.
Disrespectful.
And he did, man. He knew that his defense was going to be able to hold that boy down, man. Aaron Rodgers can't move no more, man. Aaron Rodgers, the arm is live every now and then. He can make passes every now and then. He used to be able to carry you through the whole game. Now he's not. Breece Hall was getting out. I don't know what happened. What's wrong with the Jets' defense? What's wrong with their defense right now, man? These dudes get bumped, ran over. Najee Harris running over them. Jalen Warren running over him. Russell Wilson, quarterback sneaking up end zone, hitting receivers. Man, I don't understand what's wrong with them cats, man. Them, I don't know, man. Yeah. I ain't gonna talk about it, but you know, the dude only finished with 3 catches for 30 yards. You know, Brees did his thing, but Russell Wilson, 16 of 29, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a passer rating of 109. Man, Russell did his thing, man. You know, shout out to the Steelers, man. I know my sister, she loving them. She happy as can be right now, man. She up there, you know, so she told me what they was going to do to them Jets. I personally didn't believe it. I thought Aaron was going to come out, Devontae. And at least against them and Russell Wilson that hadn't played. Now, I would have been like, okay, I might have to still ride with the Steelers, even, you know what I'm saying? But when Russell was at the start, I said, man, come on, Aaron, you can go ahead and do this, man. And you don't lose to Russell Wilson. Shit, I guess.
Brees Hall didn't have, I mean, he carried the ball 12 times, but he only rushed for 36 yards. So I mean, his game came in the receiving, you know, catching out of the backfield. But I mean, you know, again, he saved fantasy owners by, you know, by the catch and by the receiving and everything, and right. You know. But other than that, I mean, the carries, he didn't. I mean, you got to, you know, touchdown, but shoot, they wasn't running the ball at all. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball. And the play action just wasn't there for Aaron Rodgers. Again, I mean, of course, you expect for a 40-year-old to be kind of slow. We saw Tom Brady do it and whatnot. And he looked at, you know, slow as well. That's why you have to spend on that offensive line. The offensive line is definitely not doing their job for them Jets for sure. And you're correct on the defense. They're getting beat up. I mean, I know they lost a few pieces and everything, but they're getting beat up. They're definitely not the New York Jets that they were last year.
Right.
In defense.
Right.
So, yeah. So, what team you got for me next? What was the next game for me?
Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals, man. They beat the Chargers 17-15. Now, highlight of the game, Kyler Murray, man, breaking out. Left side, 44-yard touchdown run, man. That little boy, man, so electrifying, man, sometimes with his legs. Did you catch it in that game?
So, yeah, I caught, you know, definitely caught some of it, you know, looked at a lot of the good highlights and everything. And that was a definitely electrifying run that Murray had down the sideline to give them to go ahead win and everything. Close game. I hate to see Arizona, you know, win their games by a close game, but you know, win is a win. So I want to see my boy Harrison get up in there, man. Get my boy Harrison Jr., man, more involved in the system. I know he was banged up and just coming off an injury, but this team, Arizona Cardinals, have so much potential. I believe if they they got a good running core. If they can get their wide receivers going, they can do some damage. The defense is actually playing good ball.
They shut Justin Herbert down. Justin Herbert didn't throw no touchdown the other day. Them was field goals. Them was 5 field goals them boys got, man. They didn't give up. Arizona's defense didn't give up no touchdowns, man. Give it up for what Kyler Murray and them boys doing, right, man. You know, they took that L to the Packer boys last week, but that don't mean they ain't no good team. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take my hat off to what they did to them Chargers, man. I think everybody thought that the Chargers was gonna beat Arizona, and I'm so glad that the Cardinals was able to prove them wrong. We'll move on, man. We'll move on. The Bills beat the Titans 34-10, and the reason why we even talking about this game is because the new addition of Amari Cooper that had 4 catches. For what he had, 4 catches, he had 66 yards and a touchdown. In his debut with Josh Allen. You think he's gonna be good over there?
Oh man, I believe he's in a great situation. One thing about Amari Cooper is, you know, he's a superstar that knows how to just play his role. He don't have to have the spotlight, and him playing out there in Cleveland can show you that, hey man, I can still get out here and do what a superstar is supposed to do. I'm going to catch the ball no matter who's throwing the ball to me, I'm gonna do my job, and I'm going to take my butt home. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I get paid for. I believe he's in a great situation out there with Josh Allen. And all the stars is aligning. I believe this is a better combination than Diggs when he was there. This, for some reason, the stars are aligning for Buffalo Bills right now, in my aspect.
He ain't that selfish player. He ain't that selfish player that Stephon Diggs was, man. So he ain't gonna be trying to demand, all the targets all game long, because he got to catch 100-something balls a year, man. Amari Cooper gonna go in there. He's a constant veteran, man. He's a guy that just want to win, especially playing for the organizations that he's played for. I mean, look where he got drafted. He got drafted by the Raiders. They weren't that good. Went to the Dallas Cowboys. They weren't that good in the postseason. Then you get to Cleveland, they're just trash. He is just like, look, I just want to be with a quarterback that can get me the ball and potentially get me in the playoffs and get me a ring. I mean, I'm happy for him, man. I really am. The touchdown that he caught, he didn't even know the play.
Right.
He didn't even know the play. He had to look over to the dude, this receiver on his left, and dude told him, hey, man, run this little skinny post. And he ran that little skinny post, and Josh Kenny right there in the back of the end zone. I mean, wait till he learned the playbook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a dangerous combination over there, man. We'll move on, man. We got a big game, man. The Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, beat the 49ers, 8-18. They had some key injuries in that game, man. Brandon Ayuk, here,
season
MCL tear, gone for the year. We already know about the injuries with Debo and his pneumonia. Christian McCaffrey and his Achilles, George Kittle in the foot. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I hate to see 49ers, get hit with the injury bug, this part of the season, but they still have time. I mean, they have done enough to kind of get some of their players back. I mean, of course, Brandon Ayuk, he's done for the season, but hell, he wasn't really doing that much this season anyway.
Right.
So you really need Debo to get back, and if you can get Christian McCaffrey back to come on back and join Mason the way he's been running the ball, that'd be a great 1-2 punch, for them and everything. And hopefully Kittle can, try to trim, to the healthy side. We know he's been battling with injuries the last few weeks, but I mean, hey, Kansas City gonna do what Kansas City do, and we know that. I mean, I said it before. Who's gonna bet against Mahomes? And it surely is not gonna be me. And until somebody prove me different, I'm not gonna bet against them. I mean, people have come close. And the only one who's really has been able to just shut them out is Tom Brady. And I'm not going to bet against him, until somebody showed me different.
I mean, I can't argue with you. Until somebody beats the man, he's the man. Patrick Mahomes he's the top of the line. It starts with him. That's what it is. And until you get a team that you can put together, go in there and do what they do. They don't do everything at him, too. They threw Baltimore at him game one. They threw the 49ers at him, this week. They didn't know that everybody was going to be injured and missing the games. They throwing people at him to see, what he got. And he's standing up to the test, beating everybody that they put in front of him. Man, I got to give it up to Patrick Mahomes.
You did speak on the injuries. You said, hey, I would say that, they team, it would be the team to beat if they didn't have certain key injuries. But like you said, who don't have injuries right now? The kid still didn't even have a good game. He threw for 2 interceptions and was still able to go out there and put up 28 points against San Fran. So, I mean, and he only threw for 154 yards. So it's not like he did. It's not like he did anything great. But one thing I'm gonna say big ups to is my boy Kareem Hunt coming back up in that thing and being a beast like I know you is. They got him up off the couch eating cereal and said, "Come on, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Come, we're gonna help you try to see if we can get you one this year." I don't want to see them win, but that's what it seemed like.
He's definitely keeping that running game stabilized. You are absolutely right about that. Kareem Hunt is doing exactly what Kareem Hunt did before he left the league. He's doing exactly what he did when he was in the league before, But make no mistake, nephew, that defense is what it is. That defense is what it is. That's the reason why them boys is undefeated. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But let's look. He got 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, the most he's ever had in his career at this time. That defense is lights out. So Steve Spagnuolo and Chris Jones, the defensive tackle, the head coach calling the play, defensive coordinator, Steve, and everybody over there, man, they balling, man, and they taking it away too. So give it up for the Chiefs, man. They doing what they supposed to do, man. So I'll give it up. But you did mention injuries. So I do want to elaborate a little bit on those injuries, man, that we do got. We got some key injuries in the NFL for everybody, man. So just real quick, Deshaun Watson, Achilles. Chris Godwin, dislocated ankle. Mike Evans, hamstring, serious hamstring injury. Brandon Ayuk, we said that, torn MCL and ACL. 2 of them, he back in practice, so we gotta give it. Hopefully, that young man doesn't have any more concussions, man. I don't think he can take another one, man. I really don't. Jaden Daniels, ribs. Gonna be the play against Chicago this week. DK Metcalf, MCL in his knee problems right now. We'll see how that hampers him. And George Kittle with that strained foot. So we got some key injuries, man, that's going on in the NFL. It's going to affect some teams. It's going to affect some fantasy owners. You might want to start looking at your backups and things like that, man. And hopefully your teams can pull through with these injuries that you got, man. Injuries are part of the game, so we make no excuses. We ain't going to make none here on our Take on Sports either, so.
Well, I'm definitely glad Nick Chubb back.
Nick Chubb is back. Yeah, did I miss something? Tell me if I missed something.
Nick Chubb, he did make his debut back this past week. He didn't really, do too much, but he did make his debut back from his big injury from last season and everything. So I'm glad to see Nick Chubb back on the field.
There you go.
Hey, MP, what they talking about? They talking about what? They talking about sports. Oh, really? Well, this is ours. Out on the field, the ball on no courts. They wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talking, but we know the facts. Stacks tell us where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is our take on. This is our take on. Yeah. They need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on sports.